Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a good day to continue with our reflections on philosophy. So, welcome to my reading room. My name is Osnir. I'm a car blogger. I write articles on cars and science, in particular on philosophy and cars. And today I'll provide you some insights into Aristotle. So, just to begin with, if you're interested in what I'm doing, if you're interested to broaden your horizons, just check out from my books somewhere below in the description, and consider subscribing. Why not? And let's go to the topic. Today I'll read you one of my articles, which is called Drivers, Driving and Drivernance. What if Aristotle, not Brandstrom, became the Chief Constable of North Wales? I just need to highlight one thing, that I'm reading this article only one time, so just please forgive me my mispronunciations and confusions which you may encounter. Okay. When I was taught philosophy in a secondary school, I found the subject irrelevant and detached from reality. Then at the university I found it ambiguous and speculative. Some distinguished chaps attempted to fit the world into their way of thinking. But this is what all people usually do, to answer the basic questions of justice, order, humanity, and community in changing environments. Richard Brandstrom, the Chief Constable of North Wales Police in the years 2001-2009, is also a philosopher, and one of the most unequivocal materialist pragmatics. To combat speeding and introduce more order on the roads, he decided to increase the number of speed cameras so that every violation is recorded. Well, why not actually? In their turn, Jeremy Clarkson, James May and Richard Hammond, all three mature idealists, questioned this approach in their 2003 Top Gear Awards. Because why actually not? At the end of the day, all of us are philosophers. All of us have our thoughts on how to improve our personal life and the lives of our communities. But only if you decide to build careers on this ability to think on a daily basis for the sake of the humankind, and then to act or inspire others to action. Coming back to my problem with philosophy at school, the root of it was in the way the subject was delivered to me. Good teachers are priceless, mates. At the time of my puberty, I became immediately bored just hearing the word philosophy. Then all these distinguished chaps sounded stupid with their thoughts. Finally, my teachers seemed to be lost in the mazes of philosophy themselves. Things have changed now, after I went deeper into the world of the social sciences. So, let me raise the flag of philosophy high and defend its power. Let me take Aristotle's view on a perfect ancient society and outline what would happen if he implemented it in a contemporary North Wales. I bet North Wales would become a driver's heaven. And here is why. According to Aristotle, all of us are social animals. We can neither live outside nor avoid contributing to our communities. We are in charge of inventing rules, implementing them, and obeying them. Therefore, never believe those who say, "I'm not interested in social and political life." This is a blatant lie. We cannot escape our nature. If we attempt to, this will lead to disaster and uncontrolled society. Looking at it from another perspective, whom of you are ready to forfeit your smartphones, cars, central heating, shoes, and toilet paper and return to the forest? Or to start living in a cave, hunting badgers, running naked and drinking unbottled water? I bet none. We cannot live outside society anymore. Our forest is the city. Our natural environment is jammed junctions, not pristine lands. We are in charge of living in and improving this environment. We cannot go truly wild unless we go wild at a party. Citing Aristotle, quote, "Man is by nature a social animal. An individual who is unsocial naturally and not incidentally is either beneath our notice or more than human. Society is something that precedes the individual. Anyone who either cannot lead the common life or is so self-sufficient as not to need to, and therefore does not partake in society, is either a beast or a god." End quote. Yes, another alternative to being a non-social creature is being a self-sufficient god. Personally, though, I have never met a chap who could be that cool. Social animals feel themselves to be comfortable in a cozy little place they can govern with no major effort. For example, the city-state or polis of Athens in 431-322 before Christ was such a place. Comparing the size of the population of Athens to North Wales, 40,000 to 700,000 people, as well as considering the community building potential of the internet, Aristotelian self-governance could work fine in Brunstrom's fiefdom. But let me speak in detail. The Aristotelian admiration of ancient self-governance in Athens, the direct democracy, meant that every citizen was supposed to express and vote on socially important issues. To do so, all Athenians about 20 years were invited to the council sessions, or Ekklesia, scheduled around 40 times per year. Moreover, all Athenians were encouraged to apply for the governing posts. The rotation of approximately 500 administrators of the polis took place every year, with only new faces elected. Therefore, anyone could become a chief jury, secretary of the council, high-ranked general, or the police boss. For the Athenians, politics was a compulsory activity. That was their way to develop the qualities of respectable and dutiful citizens. In other words, direct democracy was the system of civic education, social engagement, and individual maturation. In case of North Wales, it would be the driver's council, not the Chief Constable, who would decide on the safety of local roads. The role of the Chief Constable would be limited to setting agendas, issuing recommendations, and monitoring how decisions are implemented. Every new year would start with electing a new constable. I bet the Drivers' Council would do anything possible for the drivers to enjoy their journeys and for the journeys to be safe. Speed cameras might occasionally have appeared on the agenda, but they would never have collected enough votes to become a reality. Instead, building additional motorways with soft barriers, as well as widening public roads, seem much sounder solutions to me. Aristotle also analyzed other types of governance, pairing them in groups: monarchy versus despotism, aristocracy versus oligarchy, educated democracy versus uneducated democracy. If I were to allocate Brunstrom within this system, I would present him as a pragmatic monarch, the one who takes care of the common good, but in a very unilateral way. He would probably have banned all cars and built an underground line instead. The citizens, squeezed and condensed, would be moved between stations in a fast and safe manner. No decapitated motorcyclists. Perfect. The opposition to monarchy is represented by accusations of tyranny. Imagine a narcissistic king who owns a McLaren F1 and drives it on a road he built for himself. No pedestrians, no other drivers, no speed limits. Then Aristotle wrote of aristocracy, which is the rule of the educated few for the common good. These people would probably build a diversified system of public transportation. Hundreds of buses, thousands of taxi cabs. But again, no private vehicles, because this would complicate the governance. The aristocracy, if spoiled, degrades into oligarchy. This would take the shape of a few private, luxurious buses cruising on well-paved streets with rich people on board. Buses with huge steel bumpers to roll over the inattentive, protesting pedestrians. Then we have the educated, direct democracy, which means that all citizens would drive the cars they wanted on the roads they had decided to build and chosen how to maintain. The uneducated democracy stands in opposition to this. It can be portrayed as social havoc, triggered by the poor and greedy individuals. Almost everyone would have a car, the majority would drive stolen cars, there would be no rules, no authority, and corrupted police. Developing Aristotelian ideas and projecting them onto automotive world, it is safe to deduce that all people about 20 years should drive. As social animals, they have no other option. Driving would constitute a vital part of their civic identity. Driving would educate them on the technologies of internal combustion and the principles of coexistence on roads. In this light, the Chief Constable would be obliged to popularize driving in North Wales. This paves the way to social excellence. To paraphrase, owning a car would become everyone's social responsibility and the only way to obtain a well-rounded education. Gaining a driving license would equal gaining a passport, with the subsequent right to speak and vote in the driver's council. The decision of the latter would be made compulsory for everyone. But let me now expose the drawbacks of this Aristotelian philosophy. To begin with, the direct democracy was very slow at adopting decisions. Because many people wanted to express themselves, it may have taken days before voting took place. Secondly, the meetings of the council were dynamic and emotional. Shouting, screaming, blackmailing, and threats were all there in abundance. There were also demagogues, masterful speakers who deliberately fractured the public or promoted bad decisions. Thirdly, if a bad decision was adopted, no higher authority could correct it. This once ended up in a situation where the Athenians beheaded their most experienced generals and were then heavily defeated in the very next battle. Fourthly, there remained a significant number of Athenians who decided to skip the Ekklesia meetings. They agreed to follow the rules, but did not want to invent them. I bet this retains relevance now. Fifthly, the Athenians were slave owners. This allowed them to invest a lot of time in policy making and not in daily routines such as earning money. Finally, not every inhabitant of ancient Athens was a citizen. Women, slaves, and foreigners did not have the right to vote. That constantly kept social tensions heated. However, for all its democratic sympathies, the ancient Athenian order did fall. But this does not mean that the same would happen to North Wales if Aristotle, rather than Brandstrom, served as its chief constable. Ladies and gentlemen, and all the great people on the other side of the screen, thank you for being with me. I hope you liked that story, and if yes, again, consider having a look at my books somewhere below, and optional subscribe. See you next time.